Hey guys, what's going on? So I have some horror news today that's pretty exciting for me. So recently I found out that this company called Unearthed Films is releasing The Hilarious House of Frightenstein on Blu-ray at some point this year. They don't have a release date, but it's the 50th anniversary celebration of this show. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with it, but it's a huge, iconic, like, kids television show that was, it basically all happened way back in 1971, like way before my time. But apparently they did 130 episodes of this show in a span of about 9 months, which is incredible because by today's standards, that's, 4 years or something like that. So anyway, this show was kind of a, what do you call it? It's kind of a mock horror sketch comedy show that was like, it's like a Canadian cult series. Anyway, they did it all, in like 9 months, 130 episodes. And really iconic. Like, I loved it growing up. It was so cool. I think a big part of it actually happening was because the legendary Vincent Price got behind it. So this show was filmed entirely in Toronto, and I guess Vincent Price did something like 400 different bits for this show. Like, he would do these creepy poems and rhymes and just typical Vincent Price stuff. And he basically would he kind of host the show as well. He would be used to transition from one scene to the next, because it was basically a sketch show. Like, this inspired a bunch of Canadian comics, like as big as Jim Carrey, Mike Myers and stuff, to the guys at Second City, so SCTV. I'm sure you guys have heard of SCTV. Kids in the Hall, another Canadian iconic sketch show. But this was a sketch show as well. It was kind of wacky, and it was aimed kind of at kids and stuff. But I know it was quite successful. At some points, they actually beat out the Tonight Show because it was running in a primetime spot for a while. But it basically featured mostly Billy Van. So Billy Van was a super talented guy he basically played the character of the Count, who was basically the main character, the Count and Igor. And then there was other characters like the Librarian and the Wolfman, who was basically a spoof of Wolfman Jack, only he was dressed like a wolfman. And he would spin actual popular tunes from that time. And this was 71, so there's all sorts of cool music on them as well. He did like Dr. Pet Vet as well, and Griselda the Witch. She's the one that did the Griselda's Kitchen or whatever it was. Something like that, I don't know. But anyway, it was an awesome show, and I've always been looking for it, but it's never really been available commercially. Like, there have been some bootleg copies here and there, and some MP4 copies people have produced and stuff, but nothing serious. So this came out from Unearthed Films, and it basically says it will release all 130 digitally remastered episodes of the iconic Canadian cult series, The Hilarious House of Frightenstein. The announcement kicks off a celebration of the series' 50th anniversary, all leading up to a digital release on major U.S. platforms and the release of a special collector's edition Blu-rays of all 130 episodes later this year. It just goes on. Mitch Markowitz was talking about it. I guess he's a co-producer and CEO of Frightenstein Enterprises International, I guess. He and I think it's his brother were involved in that. He played the superhero hippie guy or whatever it was with the curly blonde hair. Like, I don't know how familiar you are with the show. Like, if you know the show, you'll definitely know that character. But anyway, he's in here talking how excited he is to introduce it to a new audience and everything. They've been trying to do it for a while. And they're saying that they are launching a, what was it? It was a clothing line as well, like for, like Frightenstein. So there's going to be some really cool merch apparently coming as well, which would be pretty neat. But yeah, it's inspired such stars as Mike Myers, Jim Carrey, Russell Peters, Alice Cooper, SCTV's John Candy. And there it is. California's KTLA successfully aired the show opposite of the king of late night television, Johnny Carson's The Tonight Show, and occasionally outrating Johnny. So that's pretty impressive, especially for a show they only did all inside a year, inside 9 months really, and had all the success. But Vincent Price, like I said, was a big reason, like to have his name on it and they get him behind it. And everybody has all these great stories about how great he was and stuff. So I would expect a documentary as well, but I'm super excited for it. I love watching this show as a kid. You know, when it was basically syndicated and it was on all the time, pretty much right away. And I just remember watching a lot as a kid, and I was super interested in it. And of course, me being the horror fan that I am, you know, it sort of started there, you know. And it's funny, for a while when my wife was in college, she was going to dental school, or dental assisting school. I was taking her there, and I remember in the mornings, because I wasn't working at the time, they would re-air all these shows. So I remember for a good portion of a semester or two, every morning after I would drop her off there, I would come home and watch the hilarious House of Frightenstein again, just for the hell of it, because it was just fun. So excited to see it's going to be out on Blu-ray. That is very cool for the big 50th anniversary. Yeah, 1971. Damn, that's awesome. So yeah, that's exciting to hear about. I don't know if you guys remember it as much, but Vincent Price would do the intro, and there'd be lightning to it, you know, and then he'd have this big laugh, and it would sound like this. The castle of Frightenstein. Theme. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That might end up getting pulled anyway. I probably already played too much. But yeah, that's how it goes. Anyway, pretty excited for that one. That one is super awesome. So I did talk to a Susie with Unearthed Films, because I emailed them because I wanted a little bit more information, because they said, you know, this press release was April 14th. I had seen articles from May, nothing recent though. So I emailed, I got this Susie coming back at me basically saying there's no date announcements yet. And if you're signed up for their newsletter, again on Unearthed Films, you'll be the first to know. So they'll be putting it out and letting us know when the time is. So unfortunately, we don't know yet, but it is supposed to be this year, so that is awesome. All right, well, that'll pretty much do it for part one of this video on the hilarious House of Frightenstein, coming out on Blu-ray soon. I'm going to do a part two with the rest of the news separately, just to keep the videos a little bit on the shorter side. So check out the rest of the news in part two, and thanks for watching this one, guys. We'll see you again.